Hey guys, Ultimate here, and today we are going to be replacing our radiator and our thermostat on this 2008 Chevy Equinox. Now, the symptoms that we've been told about this car, I've been told about this car is that the car overheats. Every now and then there's coolant leaking on the floor, and for over time, it takes a little bit of time, but the car always overheats. Now, typically speaking, when a car overheats, your thermostat can be an issue. We don't have that problem, I don't think. Your water pump could not be working, or something that can commonly happen if you're sitting still and you overheat is your fans go bad. That's not an issue here either. So we just randomly keep overheating, and just gonna take a chance and just assume that that the radiator's just not doing its job anymore. Plus, if it is leaking any coolant, sometimes it's hard to find that because radiators won't actually leak until they get like real hot and the pressure builds up, and usually it'll just trickle down a little bit. So that's the hard thing about diagnosing a radiator as well. But for this vehicle, typically when you're doing a radiator, you can usually remove this bar here, and then you can access the radiator. But you can't do that with this. So what we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna have to remove this bumper cover, and then we can access the radiator from the front of this. So to remove a bumper for this car, I got rid of all of it. You have clips that look like this. There's 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, and 4. To get them off, what you can do is get a flathead like this, and you pry up, pop it up. If you have one of these tools, what this does is it's like a little pro foot here, and it just pulls it up and out. So like so. Hold on. You just pull it out. The cool thing about this is you can typically save the little plastic tabs because they usually break easily and you got to replace them. So with this, you can kind of save yourself from having to remove these. Move all these clips here, and then like I said, there's 2 7 mils over here. There's another one over there I didn't remove yet. I'm using is a little 1/4 drive. Another thing is right here on the side by the tire. It's another 7. Same scenario. Spin it out. Okay. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all 10 mils. So with all that removed, now we should be able to pull this out. What we're gonna do here is just start pulling this up. Pulling this out like that. Like so. I think we can come here too. And I think these just pop out. Okay, sorry guys. One thing I failed to do was to see these tabs. Hold on. If you see these tabs in here, right? As I pull the rest of this out, there's these 2. Yeah, there's 2 pinch tabs that sit on like this block. You'll see when I take it out, but basically if you want to get I just moved the fender liner to the side and I was able to access them. There's 2 holes here, but basically it's like one of those things where you have to squeeze it in like this and then pull it out. It's kind of hard. It'll probably break, but just take your time. Now with those 2 out and this side out right here, now we can continue. And just now, just trying to be gentle here, walk you out. Good. And then lastly, we have fog lights down here, and we're just gonna turn these and pull them out. Make sure do not yank on that. If you strip this wiring out, that would not be fun. So move those 2 fog lights, and now, am I forgetting something? Oop, I am. Okay. 2 more tabs on both sides. Gotta get those out. What'd you say? All I'm gonna say is pay attention. Pay attention to what bolt you're removing. I'm gonna remove this one and this one. If you touch any of these, this is your AC condenser. Freon will start shooting out everywhere. So with that out, now that we actually can get access to the radiator, let's drain the coolant out. On the driver's side, and this right got funnel spill kit right here. When we crack this will let air in the system, and then it should drain. So just in case, this might be holding pressure. So that's open now. Well, something should be draining, unless this thing is empty. This could be very well empty. Okay, so our drain here is stuck. I keep turning it, but it's not turning, so the threads must be stripped out. So we're going to have to drain it from one of the coolant hoses. I think I'll try to drain it from right here. But before we do anything, well, while this is draining, we can actually start disconnecting the fan, the radiator fan. So let's actually open this up, and then we'll pull these out while that's draining. The clamps here, pull that back, pop that out. Now I'm gonna drain that. Let me get a glove on, it's gonna get nasty. Let that bad boy drain. We must not have a lot of coolant in this car. Alright, so this right here, we're just gonna push down and pull that out. Same scenario on this side. Well, we have a coolant hose to deal with, so let us remove this coolant hose as well. I'm gonna pull you out next. Okay, that's out. Bent the hose to the side. Now we gotta pull this bad boy out. Oh, you know what? I was smart. I didn't actually put this one back in, but there's a 10 here and there's a 10 down here. So let's remove this. It was a 13 mil. Just got it right here. Buzzed it off. What we need to do next is remove this. I already removed this side to get this coolant line out. So here, just get it like so. So now, this thing should be able to pull forward. Okay, good. Now we're gonna have to disconnect these transmission cooler lines. It's a little bit easier to show. Basically, you get a simple pick tool and you feel for a gap somewhere that it'll lift up. Not this side. We're gonna try to go underneath a little bit, and I think that's it right there. The little lock tab, and see I got my thumb on it like so, and just pull it around until it pulls out like that. Yeah, these are very important. But let's get the next one. More like a wobble. There we go, and that came out. Keep on wobbling and it'll shimmy out just like that. With these cooler lines out, you're gonna lose a little bit of transmission fluid, but I don't think enough that it'll hurt anything. So now we're gonna kind of tilt this forward a little bit. I think I gotta pull it out of its mounts. There we go. So this is what I came up with. This whole thing, unfortunately, this lower thing needs to come out. There are 3 more push tabs right here. Pull this whole thing out. With this out, the condenser can drop down more. Now, with that being dropped down, I'm gonna hold my hand here on the fan and keep the fan back here kind of in the engine bay, and then I'm gonna pull this straight up and out at a small angle. There we go. Whew. And then what is hanging on to you now? Okay, there we go. Whew. All right, I want to remove the thermostat. It's right there. All the coolant's out already, so taking this out should be as little small problem as possible. So, all right, took one thermostat, push down here, pop that out. This whole thing turns out like that. Put it up here, and then there's a couple little small grommets, but you just pop them out, and then this casing comes out. Make sure to put this back. You don't want anything falling into the engine. And then now, thermostat's right here. Because it is so close to the exhaust, you're gonna have to get a 13 mil wrench right here and pull up. And there you go. It's coming up now. So I'm just gonna take my time and walk these off. Good news. You do not have to pull that bottom ball out completely. Hold on here. Let me see. All you have to do is, there we go. Good, it's out. It has a gap in it, so you don't have to take that ball out all the way. That's awesome. It's a great time saver. Good job, GM. And then this is your thermostat housing, and then we can pull this out. I'll just lay it to the side for now. And this is our thermostat right here. And just pulls out. Oh, you fucking kidding me. Try to clean up the seal as possible. And insert it. And good. You don't have to put any Permatex or anything like that on that. That seal is actually what seals the thermostat. I wish most cars still had these kind of thermostats. These are cheap. A lot of these cars have plastic ones that cost like $100. There we go. Now it's slid in place. And now I gotta have fun with bolting this back up again. So I'll bolt this back up and I'll get back to y'all. Now, when you put this in, there ain't no real torque spec. You just torque it down until it feels snug enough to you. Simply, you shouldn't be able to go any further. Now, I did not do this. I'm telling you guys, I didn't do this. Now, it's snug enough and it's holding tension, so that's good. But when I tried breaking this bolt, it took a massive amount. Like somebody over torqued the hell out of this thing. And when I was reattaching it, this piece just I start seeing cracks, and it just popped off as I was putting it back in there. So it's still holding, but this is just why I say don't over tighten stuff, because you cannot replace this. So I'm lucky right now. Sensors right there. Push that in. Snap that in place. This right here. And now that's tightened down. So everything's back in. Let's transition. Okay, so anytime you get a radiator, there are some things you have to transfer to the new one. And I have them sitting face up, same sides. So first thing we want to do is pull this off down here. Put this on right here. Good. Pull this off right here. Put this on over here. Cool. Now get this mount up here, right there. Cool. This one right here. So it takes a little bit more energy. Pulled it out and then sit it right here. Now sometimes these need to come out, but this one doesn't because it comes with an updated, better design screw hole. The one thing I noticed though when I was pulling this out was these little tabs right here. They kind of pull on the AC condenser, and they're really stupid. They don't really serve a purpose. So I'm gonna actually pinch these off. I'm gonna break these off. So hold on. So right here, I'm just gonna get this and broke that off. And right here, same thing. And break that off. This is where our cooler lines go, and they did give us new clips, so that's cool. Being very careful here. It's easy to damage these. And slowly walk it down. Now I'm just gonna take little pictures to show you where everything lines up at. So mount is in, the tab for the AC condenser is right there. This mount is in all the way now, and the tab for the condenser is right here. For the fan, that tab right there. So always just make sure that this is tight. That is tight, good. Our tab is right here, so everything's in. And I'm just gonna put this, like I said, I'm only gonna put this one bolt on. When everything's installed, getting this bolt out is very difficult, so I'm not gonna put that one back in. Now the fun part is just reinstalling all this stuff. One thing I forgot was make sure these tabs right here are all the way on. Good, so that's holding on. And then you right here. First, and then get you right here. Good, just like that. And almost got it on. Is that holding? There we go. Now it's locked into place. Good. Do the same thing down here. It's obviously not gonna be. Obviously, it's gonna be harder to see. But just repeat the same thing in here. The big thing is just make sure that this is pushed all the way in so that it'll lock properly. You want to make sure this is locked properly in place. If you don't, you will leak transmission fluid. Alright you guys, this is taking me too much time. I need to speed up. So put your coolant line on, put your fan sensors on this side as well. Right in there. Make sure your coolant lines are reattached. Make sure your clips are all the way in, and you got the little cover on it. This is in, this is in, this is in, this is in. Your fan shroud should, these two right here. Alright, put this little cover here. Just make sure the airflow goes into the radiator here and here. 8, 9, 10, 11. It's like 12 things that hold this on to the bottom. Let's fill this up with coolant now. This is a GM vehicle, so you want to make sure you get Dex Cool. Don't get that mixed with anything stuff. Make sure you get the right coolant, and let's fill this up. Once this thing gets full, we can start it up and let it bleed. Usually I have a bleed tank, but for this I don't need it. These typically bleed themselves. I gotta start the car to let it suck it down, so let's start it up. Alright, the engine is running now. Always check for leaks. I don't have any. You're gonna see a little bit of smoke if you change the thermostat. A little bit of coolant got on that, but that's okay, it'll burn off. And just inspect, make sure you don't see anything leaking. Lastly, while this is bleeding itself, we're gonna turn this on. How do you turn this on? No, not that. Okay, turn it all the way to the hot. And then we're gonna turn this all the way here. And keep it on low and let this run as the car is running so that the heater core bleeds as well. We're gonna let this thing run until the thermostat opens up, and then usually when the thermostat opens up, this thing will start sucking coolant down pretty fast. These new expansion things can bleed themselves from here now, so I believe what it's doing, it's bleeding, and so I'm gonna keep letting that do its thing.